Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Tyler. Today we're not quite doing dinner. I had a random urge to bake today, and something I don't usually like doing. In my last video I even mentioned how much I hate messing with dough. But so now we're gonna answer the age-old question of what's for snacks. Anyway, so today we are making some Apple Cinnamon Muffins. Again, I have no idea why I decided I wanted to bake today. It's rather strange of me, but let's just dive right in, right? So we do want to start with about 2 cups of pastry flour. I'm using the same flour that I used in the pastry dough in the cheeseburger Wellington I made last time. This time we're using it because it creates, the lower amount of protein creates a fluffier, airier dough. We're also going to sift it for that same reason. Every dry ingredient we're using today we are going to sift for that same reason. We don't want any lumps, and we want to incorporate a bunch of air. So as I sift away, if you don't have a sifter, you can use like a wire strainer. You see them. I always use them in the bar. They also have like big ones that are just colanders really, but it also works. You just tap it through. I'm sure you've seen it. I just happen to have a sifter. Kind of handy. It's kind of handy. Anyway, so once we get all that sifted through, like so, we're just waiting. I'm here with y'all for the ride. We're then going to add some baking powder, and we are going to do a teaspoon. And we're going to sift that too. Like I said, everything we're putting in here, all the dry ingredients are going to be sifted. We're going to follow that with just some salt. I'm not going to measure the salt, and I actually lied to you. I'm very sorry. We're not going to sift the salt. It doesn't really matter. It's just a leavening agent. We're not using a bunch of it. And we're going to mix it together and then realize, oh crap, this isn't it. Even close. So we need some cinnamon. You have to have cinnamon in Apple Cinnamon Muffins, right? So we're going to do 1.5 heaping tablespoons. It's probably closer to really 2 tablespoons if you leveled it off of cinnamon, and we are going to sift that as well. It's not really going to require much grinding because it falls right through. It's pretty fine already, but better safe than sorry. Like I said, we don't want any clumps. And then we're going to mix this all up to combine it again and again. We're gonna realize, oh crap, we forgot the nutmeg. So we're gonna grate some fresh nutmeg in there. I love nutmeg. It makes the whole house smell good. This video is featuring my roommate's feet. So we're gonna keep grating away. I can't really give you a measurement of how much nutmeg is in there. You're just gonna go until you feel like it's enough. That's good. We are gonna mix all that to combine. We do want it to be the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the flour, all of it to be evenly distributed. So when we add our wet stuff, we don't have to measure, or sorry, not measure. We don't have to stir as much, because like anytime you're making anything with flour, you don't want to produce a whole bunch of gluten. So we're gonna take some apples. These apples were, I don't remember. Don't use Red Delicious, but really any apple's gonna be fine. We're gonna cut the top off and get a flat surface, and we're gonna cut around the core. Real easy. Oops, gotta make sure we get all the core out. Throw the core into our trash bowl. It's always handy. Top 2. And then we're gonna slice and dice these. We want them to be present, but we don't want giant pieces. If you wanted to get a little crazy with it, you could do like apple slices, 1 in each one. I guess that would be okay. If you're gonna do that, make sure you cook them first. Also, you make sure you put your apple slices in the correct bowl. I most of them in the trash bowl, and I throw most of them in the bowl I was gonna use for wet stuff. I'm a mess sometimes. Also, please know that my kitchen is not always this cluttered. Before the video, I like to get everything together so I don't have to leave, the cutting board very often. Unfortunately, it does make for a messy looking area. So as you can tell, I'm just dicing these into small little cubes. They're probably about, 2 centimeters thick. I mean, not much. But again, you don't want them so small that it feels like it's applesauce. If we wanted applesauce consistency, we would just do applesauce. And then for the second one, we're going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to fast forward through it because you don't need to see it again. Let's save some time. Alright, so after that, we are going to take some slightly microwaved butter. I just want it to be soft. And then we're going to realize, oh crap, I forgot to put things on the apples. So we're going to put a little bit of cinnamon, we're going to put a little bit of flour. Those don't need to be measured. And we're going to put some lime juice. Usually I would do lemon juice, but I didn't have a lemon. The lemon juice, or in this case lime juice, is just there to keep them from browning. Also to help keep the flour and cinnamon attached to them. We're doing this because we want to add a crust-like consistency. Also help them not stick around to each other in the batter, or the dough, when we mix it all together. Give it a little toss just to make sure everything is coated. And then we'll go back to the wets. So the reason why I'm separating these is you always want to mix all your wets, all your dries separately, and then introduce them together. This means you do less moving and turning and mixing. Keeps it from getting tough and chewy. You don't want our muffins to be tough and chewy. Instead of sugar, I'm using honey. I'm going to use about 1/3 of a cup. I'm using a 2/3 cup cup, but there's a line in the middle that I'm measuring too. I wanted the bigger one just for any extra spillage, or because honey is sticky and thick, and yeah. So we're gonna put that into the bowl with the butter. And this honey I got at a farmer's market a week or so ago, and it is really good. He usually does a lot. He does a lot of other ones too. This is just a clover and wildflower honey. I'm hoping to get some lavender. He has some other flavors too. I'm really excited about it. And then we're also going to do 1/3 of a cup, or 2/3 cups of milk. If you use the same cup, you can get some of that extra honey out. We could scrape it. I don't care. I know this is going to look a little crazy. We are going to use a hand mixer. We're going to mix all this together. The butter is going to break. We're going to do it until the butter is breaking into little pieces. You're going to make a little bit of a mess. I'm sure someone's going to tell me that this could be done a better way. I do not care. This is how I did it, and they turn out great. So, although it is messy, I make a giant mess. You don't want the butter to be melted, though. You do want little bits of butter to melt when it cooks. It helps keep everything extra moist and a little rich and delicious, to be honest with you. You probably could do it that way, but then you're making biscuits, and biscuits are less fun. Alright, once you get that combined, for the most part, and the butter is broken into small little pieces, we are going to add 2 eggs to the mix. I always wonder, back thousands of years ago when people first started actually cooking and doing things like this, how many times they just failed. If I could go back in a time machine, that's what I would go look at. I'd go watch people cook. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Probably learn something too. Sorry, random tangent. So we're going to keep mixing this till it looks all combined. You can't over mix this like you can the butter, so don't worry about it. Or not the butter, sorry, the flour. So don't worry about it. Just keep mixing it until you think it looks good. I personally am looking for just small pieces of butter, everything combined. I don't want to see any streaks of egg yolk or white. Just one cohesive mix. Like that. Put those in our trash bowl. We make a mess, but we don't make a huge mess. So next what we're going to do is we are going to dig a little hole in our, oh, forgot the vanilla extract. It's really important. You can't forget the vanilla extract. We're going to do about a tablespoon. Should probably measure. I should have probably measured, but it's fine. We're going to dig a little hole in our dries. We're also going to realize that a whisk will not do what we want to do, so we're just going to throw that aside and use our hand. Why we make a mess? Screw it. And then we are going to introduce our wets from our dries. You can tell the magic there. I turned my whisk into a little scraper boy. Magic is great. So we're gonna do the same motions we did last video, where we scrape the sides and fold over. Trying to do as little motion as possible. The more motion you do, the thicker it's going to be. Once you see that it's starting to kind of come together, that's when you want to add most of the apples. Not all of the apples, just most of the apple. We're going to save the rest of them for the top. And you're going to keep doing this until it looks like it's all together. There might still be a little flour on the bottom. That's okay. Like I said, you want to do as few motions as possible. I probably did a few extra, but it's fine. And to there, just leave it alone. It's done. Alright, we are going to take a muffin pan, and we're going to use my least favorite ingredient in the whole wide world. It is Pam. The ingredient itself is fine, but it's aerosol, so it makes me sneeze every time. I hate it. And then we're going to take a 1/3 cup. You can see me brushing away so I don't sneeze. I ended up sneezing anyway. We're going to take a 1/3 cup, and we're going to scoop our wonderful batter into these. Don't worry about making them all perfect. They're okay if they're different sizes. Just get them in there, you know. I think I sneezed right there too from the pan. Yeah, it just makes me sneeze every time. By the way, guys, this is not a plug, but this music I found, it's royalty free. It's from bensonmusic.com. No, sorry, bensound.com. It's really nice. Kind of enjoy it. Makes me feel like an early 2000s cooking show. You know, when I got out of school as a kid, I would go home and watch cooking shows, and it reminds me of those little intros. It's nice. We're going to keep going, making sure, you know, we get some each one. We're going to find that, you know, I usually have a problem, and I always make 11 and not 12. Oh, you see a little bit of flour there? I'm going to let you know that one turned out just fine. Let that flour be, put a little more on top, it's going to be okay. Looks a little messy, but it's going to be okay. Oh, got to use my finger to scrape some out. That's okay. Yeah, all better. So we're going to scrape the last bit, put in the 11th slot, realize that no matter what I do, I'll never get a full 12. I almost made a joke, but you know, we don't mess with 12. Sorry, it's a bad joke. When you're all done here, they're going to go into a 375-degree oven. I hope you preheated it. And they're going to sit in there for about 10 minutes until they are, I would say golden brown, but they're going to be brown no matter what. But until you can stick a toothpick in. Oh, I forgot a step. I'm so sorry, friends. Back to the apples, we're going to put some brown sugar. That's the only sugar we're actually using. And a little bit more cinnamon. You don't need to measure these things. Just go by how you want it to taste. And we're going to top it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to skip this step. Gosh. Sometimes I get ahead of myself, and it's just too much. I'm gonna run out of apples. It's time to reallocate. Every time. So like I said, these are going to go into a 375 degree oven. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes until you can stick a toothpick in and it comes back clean. That's the trick for all, cakes. And when they're done, they're going to look like that. And just for some food porn pleasure, freshly hot. Anyway, friends, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, my name is Tyler. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Give me a like. Share with your friends. If you want to make these delicious brownies for yourselves, please do. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Until next time.